Cheers little champions, I welcome you all to score 99% in 99 days. Today is day 64 and today we are going to solve sample paper 2 in which we are going to exclusively deal with the questions from biology. And if you are wondering, where did ma'am get the sample paper from? CBSE have only released one sample paper. Well, we solved that one sample paper on Monday. Now, this is the one that they released the previous year, that is 2023-24. Each year, CBSE releases one sample paper. So, this is that one. This is equally important, so we need to refer to that. Yeah? Before going ahead, let's do a quick paper analysis, my dear children. According to the paper, there are 9 questions which are of 1 marks. Okay? This is all about biology. I am talking about just biology. Okay? There are 3 2-marker questions. 2 3-marker question, 1 5-marker question and 1 4-marker question. Now, if you calculate the whole thing, you will get it around 30 marks. So, biology has the highest weightage. Your whole paper is of 80 marks. Out of that, 30 marks is coming from biology. Why is it so? Because biology has 1 extra chapter. Okay, biology has 5 chapters. The other subjects does not have that, which is why probably it has more high weightage. So, you have to be sure that you are understanding biology really well. Okay, now without delaying it any further, let's start solving. This is section A, my dear children, the first section which carries 1 marker question. It can have both MCQ as well as assertion and reason questions. Yeah? Okay. So, question number 8, as I said, is the one where biology starts. Okay. 1 to 7 might be physics or chemistry. Now, generally, food is broken and absorbed within the body of organism, right? The food that we take in, it is broken inside our body, within the body of an organism. In which of the following organism is it done outside the body? Outside the body, have you seen any organism breaking down its food? Well, it's there. Who is that organism? Let's see that. So, amoeba and paramecium, okay, both of them according to your NCERT, they take inside their food. Remember, amoeba taking in through the pseudopodia and paramecium taking in the food through the cilia, that is what they have, right? So, basically everything is getting broken down inside their body, so they cannot come under this category. Now, what about lice? Lice is something which is parasitic. It feeds on blood. Again, blood is taken inside its body and getting broken down or whatever it does. But it is happening inside. What about mushroom, my dear children? Mushroom comes under a category which you call as saprotrophs. Okay, saprotrophs. They feed on dead and decaying things. And how do they work, my dear children? Basically, suppose the food is out here. They are going to release certain enzymes. This is going to break the food down into smaller particles, and whatever important nutrients are being uptaken back by the mushroom. This is how they work. So, mushroom is the correct answer for this particular question. They are saprotrophs. They show external digestion. What do you call this type of digestion as? External. They are doing it outside their body. Whereas when you talk about amoeba and paramecium, they are taking the food inside. First thing, they are showing holozoic mode of nutrition, where basically internal digestion is happening. Inside the body, digestion is happening. What about lice? Lice is showing parasitic mode of nutrition, and they are also basically doing internal digestion, not external digestion. So, this becomes your answer. Instead of mushroom, if you had fungi, other yeast, something like that, just understand everyone does the same. Okay, cool. So, fungi category, mushroom comes under fungi category, right? So, all of them, they do the same. So, your answer becomes mushroom. Next question. Receptors are usually located in sense organs. Gustative receptors are present in. I always tell you, there are receptors. Okay, we have olfactory receptors up here in the nose, which helps in smelling. How do you remember olfactory with nose? Oil. Oil has a different smell. You can remember that. So, it's basically for smell. Now, when you talk about gustatory, I always say it as gustatory for me to remember it easily. Okay, so it is for taste. Now, for taste, we have receptors on our tongue, my dear children. So, gustatory receptors, it is not tastary, I just say tastary, okay. It is on the tongue. Please, that's how you remember it. Nose has olfactory, eye has photoreceptors, and ear has phonoreceptors, and over here it has olfactory receptors. Cool? Chalo. So, your answer becomes tongue. Next question. That is question number 10. A farmer wants to grow banana plants genetically similar enough to the plants already available in his fields. So, he has already banana plants and he wants to make another banana plants which are almost genetically similar to the plant that he already has. Which one of the following methods would you suggest for this particular process? Regeneration, budding, well, regeneration. and budding is not a mode of reproduction in the case of plants. Okay, in the case of plants, this is not the mode of reproduction. It is for simple organisms and generally multicellular organisms as well, but not plants. What about vegetative propagation? This is something that they can use. Vegetative propagation is the asexual mode of reproduction in the case of plants. Okay, and why vegetative propagation, my dear children? He told that he want to grow genetically similar plants. Now, genetically similar plants come from where? Whenever there is asexual mode of reproduction, that is when you are giving genetically similar organism. Otherwise, you would be having genetically two different organisms. In sexual reproduction, there is two gametes coming. Now, two gametes, basically when they come, they have their own differences. When they come and fuse, they create more differences. So, sexual reproduction is not going to work up here. You should be having vegetative propagation, my dear children, where certain parts which are not the sexual parts are being utilized for making a new plant. For example, in the case of banana, you might have not seen, but they have something which is known as rhizome. Okay, which is beneath their this structure. So, suppose this is the banana, and over here they might be having beneath the soil, they might be having rhizome, and this rhizome can be used up for making a new plant. Okay, and also they are seedless. Banana, it is seedless, so mostly they are made to undergo asexual mode of reproduction itself. So, this becomes your answer. Cool. Now, height of a plant is regulated by height of anything, whether it be a plant or anything. How it is regulated, my dear children? Let's see the options first. No, let me tell you the funda first. Okay, that will be easy for you to remember. So, for everything in our body, every trait, every character in our body, you know there is DNA, and on the DNA there are separate segments which you call as what? Genes, my dear children. And these genes are responsible for coding what? Proteins. Now, these proteins can be forming an enzyme, can be forming a hormone, or can stay like a pigment in our body, anything, whatever it wants. But it is a gene which is there on our DNA that is going to code for proteins. That is there. Now, height of a plant is regulated by a very important hormone which is known as growth hormone. Now, in plants also, in animals also, everywhere. So, there will be hormone. There will be hormone in the case of any organism, okay, or basically some proteins. Now, DNA, it is regulated by DNA which is directly influenced by growth hormone. Do you think it is regulated by DNA which is directly influenced by growth hormone? No. Growth hormone is not going to influence the DNA. Genes which regulate the proteins directly. Growth hormones under the influence of enzymes coded by a gene. Growth hormones directly under the influence of a gene. What do you think so? So, to make a little correction up here, there will be enzymes and there will be pigments made. Well, these enzymes can be useful for the formation of hormones. That is, it helps in conversion of A to B. You know, enzymes works like that, and this B might be the hormone that we are basically talking about. So, over here, which is the one that satisfies this? Growth hormones under the influence of enzymes coded by a gene, or growth hormones directly under the influence of a gene? What do you think? Growth hormone under the influence of enzyme that is coded by a gene. This becomes more correct, my dear children. Growth hormone directly under the influence of a gene? No, it is not directly coded by a gene. There are proteins being made, and these proteins are going to help in the formation of the growth hormone. Genes which regulate the proteins directly? No, you need growth hormone. So, if protein is regulated directly, my dear children, this protein has to go and affect the formation of growth hormone as well, right? That is not mentioned up over here. So, there is no role of growth hormone mentioned up over here, which is why this is wrong. And DNA is not influenced by anything, so let's get it wrong. So, what is the correct answer for this question, my dear children? It becomes C, growth hormone under the influence of the enzymes coded by what? A gene. Again, I am going to tell you, growth hormone under the influence of the enzyme coded by what? The gene. That becomes the answer. Cool? That's a tricky question, but if you read it correctly, you will get it. So, sometimes when you are not able to read it, circle the question, go and solve the other thing and come back to it later on. Okay, do not invest too much of your time, you might be wasting too much of your time. So, don't do that. Now, next thing, question number 12. A sportsman after a long break of his routine exercise suffered muscular cramps during a heavy exercise session. This happened due to, so basically if someone is experiencing muscular cramps, okay, if someone is experiencing muscular cramps, my dear children, it's because there is something produced in their body, and that is what? Lactic acid. Lactic acid is being produced in their body, and lactic acid is being produced when is lactic acid being produced? When there is anaerobic condition. When there is anaerobic condition, that's when lactic acid is going to be produced, and this lactic acid is going to cause what, my dear children? Muscular cramps. So a sportsman after a long break of his routine exercise suffered from muscular cramps during a heavy exercise session. This happened due to lack of carbon dioxide, formation of pyruvate? No. Presence of oxygen, formation of ethanol? No. Lack of oxygen and formation of what? Lactic acid. There is lack of oxygen, that is anaerobic condition, that's when lactic acid is being produced, and this lactic acid, okay, I'll change the arrow direction, this lactic acid is going to cause what? Muscular cramps when it is getting accumulated. Cool? Always remember, this is anaerobic mode of respiration. Why does our body switch like that? So basically our body generally depends on oxygen, okay, and when it depends on oxygen, what is the product that you get? CO2, H2O, and basically ATP that is being produced. CO2, H2O and ATP. But at this point of time, when there is no oxygen and we still need ATP, so the next mechanism that we have is undergo anaerobic respiration, produce lactic acid, and along with that produce a little amount of ATP. But when this lactic acid is getting accumulated, it will later cause what? Muscular cramps. Cool? Which is why C becomes the correct answer for this. Works? Chalo, next question. In 1987, an agreement was formulated by the United Nations Environment Programme, that is UNEP, okay, to freeze the production of X. To freeze the production of S as in to stop the production of X, to prevent depletion of Y. So probably because of this X, Y was getting what, children? Depleted. So what do you think this X is, and what is it depleting? So we all know that there was something, Environment Protection Act, that was basically over here, what was being damaged? It is our ozone layer, which was getting damaged because of excessive use of what? CFCs, or what do you call it as? Chlorofluorocarbons, which was being released by refrigerators, AC machines and stuff like that very much before. Now it is not, okay, now it is totally banned. Why? Because the UNEP, okay, it interfered over here, and in 1987 a protocol was being made that no one should be producing something like that, or basically making up a device which could be producing a lot of CFCs, because these CFCs are going to damage our ozone layer. So the answer for this is what? X is CFCs, whereas Y is what? Ozone. So again the C option is the correct answer. Cool? Next question. Which of the following features relates to biodegradable substances? So biodegradable as in something that can be broken down easily, okay, by the biological organisms which are there in our nature. That is what you mean by biodegradable substances, okay. Now it can be broken down by biological process, correct. Remains inert as in it is not reactive, it is just staying there, okay. Do you think it's like that? Persists in the environment for long time? No, it does not. It is getting broken down. May harm the environment? Not entirely. It might harm if it gets accumulated way too much, okay, and there is no proper decomposition happening. At that point it might, but generally it does not, okay, generally it does not. So I'll say which one of the following features relates to biodegradable substances. This is the one. It can be broken down by biological processes. This is the most correct one that we are having over here. So A becomes your answer. Now comes assertion reason question. Now in assertion reason question, 17 is belonging to some other, 18 is other subject, 18 is of our subject. Let's solve that, okay. Assertion says probability of survival of an organism produced through sexual reproduction is more than that of organism produced through asexual mode. Do you think that an organism is produced by sexual mode of reproduction where two parents are being involved, and there is another mode of reproduction where only one parent is involved in the production of B, and this guy is able to survive better? The probability will be more over here. Do you think so? Well, I think so. It is yes. Why? Because over here this X person has their own genetic material, this Y person has their own genetic material, okay, that is two different genetic material. Now over here A is going to get two different genetic material, my dear children. So obviously there will be a lots and lots of variation that you could see, and this variation that is there could help the organism survive. Whereas when I talk about this organism, okay, when I talk about this organism does not mate with something else. It is going to make its own replica, a clone. So whatever genetic material it had, it is just going to be passed down to B. It is just going to be passed down to B. There is no mixing of some other genetic material or probably more variation. Some amount of variation will be happening. Why? Because DNA which this guy has, okay, this guy, and being general neutral, do not take it like that. It's just for a sake of saying, okay. So basically whatever this organism has, okay, for example some DNA. Now whenever this organism is going to plan to replicate or basically give rise to a new organism, it is going to replicate its DNA. It is going to make a copy of its DNA which can be passed down over here. So over here, when this DNA copying mechanism happens, there might be some errors and this could lead to variation, but this is not a huge variation that could happen. So generally the variation that is happening over here would be comparatively very less than sexual mode of reproduction. So variations provide advantages to individuals for survival. Is that the correct reason? Let's read once more. Assertion says probability of survival of an organism produced through sexual reproduction is more than that of organism produced through asexual mode. The reason is that variation which is there provide advantages to individuals for survival. Yes, it is a variation that is going to provide what? Advantage. So I'll say both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of what, my dear children? A. Cool. So over here, this becomes the answer. Now, 20th question. Assertion says biodegradable substances result in the formation of compost and natural replenishment. Okay, so biodegradable substances which are there, they can be used as compost, as in basically it can be used as fertilizers and can stay in the field and can help in the production of biogas and things like that. And it is also natural replenishment, as in if you are adding it there somewhere, okay, basically it is going to naturally replenish the soil with nutrients, essential nutrients. Is that true? Yes, it is very much true. Why? Reason is that it is due to breakdown of complex inorganic substances into simple organic substances. So they are saying, why is it happening? So why it is providing nutrition and everything? Because there are complex inorganic substances which is getting broken down to simple organic substances. Is it true? No, my dear children. Complex inorganic is not a combination. Inorganic things are always simple. For example, inorganic things does not have carbon-carbon bond or carbon-hydrogen bonds. For example, CO2. CO2 has carbon and oxygen, H2O. It has H and O. There is no other bond. It is simple. It is going to be really simple. So, first things first, here it should be simple and here it should be complex. Now, let me ask you one more thing. Can simple inorganic things can be broken down to complex organic substances? No. The complex things are broken down to simple things. No. The complex things are broken down to simple things. So again, this is wrong. If the statement was, it is due to breakdown of complex organic substances to simple inorganic substances, then it would have been correct. So I'll say assertion is true, but the reason is what? False. The reason is what? False. Children, are you understanding things? Are you enjoying watching this? This is really important for you to practice the questions. So whenever I say revision, just understand, revision should not be you having the notebook and you reading it 10,000 times. It does not work. You're basically passing down your time. What you need to do, take out the question paper, start solving the question, whatever you're not getting, or you might not get anything, it's fine, it's totally fine. Read the questions, read the theory and understand it and come back and write it. That is how you're going to revise. Okay? Works? Chalo. Now, this was the answer. Now comes section B, which is having 2 marker question. There will be 3 of them. Let's solve all of them. So, state the post-fertilization changes that lead to fruit formation in the case of plants. What is the post-fertilization? What do you mean by fertilization? Fusion of male and the female gamete. Okay. Now, once the fusion has taken place, you have got the zygote. This zygote is a single cell, my dear children. This zygote has to undergo division to form what? Embryo. So that is the first thing that you are having. Okay. embryo formation will be happening. So embryo formation, basically at this point of time when you say zygote is what? A fertilized ovule, or what you call zygote is present inside the fertilized ovule now, and this fertilized ovule is known as seed. Seed will be having seed cover. These are the changes that is happening. Okay, in the ovule the zygote is formed, the zygote is dividing to form the embryo. What happens to the ovule? The ovule is now turning into a seed, and the seed has seed cover and everything. Apart from that, what is happening? What is happening? Can you think of post-fertilization changes that is happening over there? The fruit which was there, sorry, the flower which was there, which was having petals and everything, do you think that the petals will be there? No, my dear children. But before that, let me talk about one more thing. What about the ovary? What about the ovary? If this was the structure, this was the ovary, inside the ovary you had ovule, right? This was the ovule. The ovule is where the zygote is formed, so I will say ovule has become a seed. What about the ovary? Ovary will now become what? A fruit. So ovary will turn to a what? Fruit, my dear children. What about the rest of the things? For example, the petals and everything that is over here, they will now fall down. So flower, petals, sepals, everything that you see will be falling down. Cool. These are the 4 things that we are having over here. So after fertilization, the zygote divides several times to form an embryo within the ovule. The ovule develops a tough coat and is gradually converted into what? A seed, my dear children. The ovary which is there, it will be ripening to form a fruit. The petals, sepals, stamen, style, stigma, everything which is there, it's just going to what? Fall off. Now this answer that I am going to show you is from the marking scheme that the government itself has given. The board itself have given, so you should be knowing how marking is done, my dear children. Now, each point that you see over here carries 0.5 marks. So, for example, you skipped this point, you lost 0.5 marks over there. You skipped this point, you lost 0.5 marks. This. So, you should be very specific with your answer. Don't go write songs and come. It is really important for you to know the exact answer, write it properly, you are going to get the marks. So, this is the marking scheme given by the board. Okay. So answer accordingly and write in points. Underline what is important. So you have embryo, you have zygote, underline it. You have seed, you have ovary, and you write fruit. Okay. Then write petals, stigma, fall off. These things you have to underline as well. 2-marker question, 1 done. Let's see the next one. What is the purpose of making urine in the body? What do you think? Why is urine made? Why is urine made, my dear children? Urine is made for the removal of nitrogenous waste. Right? For the removal of nitrogenous waste from our blood. What nitrogenous waste, my dear children? Urea and uric acid. From where, my dear children? From our blood. So over here this carries 0.5 marks and this carries 0.5 marks. I saw the marking scheme, which is why I am telling you. I will show you the answer as well. Now name the organs that stores and releases the urine. What is that organ that stores it? The organ that stores it will be urinary bladder. Okay, and the organ that releases the urine will be what? The urethra. This is the urinary bladder, it will store it, and this opening that you see over here, this is known as the urethra. So this, suppose this is carrying 0.5 marks, this is carrying 0.5 marks, 0.5, 0.5, sorry, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, you get 2 marks. Now there is an OR question as well which you can attempt. Don't go write both the questions. See, wherever OR is there, you are given a choice, you can attempt either this or this, okay. Now let's see the first answer first. To filter out nitrogenous waste products like urea and uric acid 0.5, from the blood 0.5 in humans. So you should be knowing that it is for removal of this, but from where also you should be knowing, from the blood, you should be writing it. Now organ for storage is urinary bladder, organ for release is what? Urethra. How systematically have they written? You should be knowing that, right? Now why do arteries have thick and elastic walls whereas veins have valves? Why do arteries which are there have thick and elastic walls, my dear children? My dear children, if you suppose this is the heart, even though this is not the heart, okay, so heart pumps the blood. Who takes the blood away from the heart? It is artery. A for artery and A for taking the blood away. Now when this guy is taking the blood away, your heart is going to pump the blood very fastly, right, with lots and lots of pressure. So to withstand this pressure, obviously the walls of this particular thing should be really strong. It should be having thick and elastic walls. Elastic as in should not be getting broken down. If it's very stiff, it will get broken down. If it is elastic, probably it might stay like that. Now whereas veins, why do you think they have valves? What do you mean by valves? So you might have seen certain valves are there for so that whatever is there, the water does not flow or does not flow back, which is why you have valves. Similarly, in the case of veins also, veins are the ones that carries the blood towards the heart. So arteries, since under pressure, the blood is not having a choice to go back, okay, since it is under the pressure of the heart. But what about the veins? Veins are going to carry the blood towards the heart. Now when it is carrying the blood towards the heart, it is not having anything to put pressure on. So which is why the blood which is going up might come down also. To prevent the backflow of blood, to prevent the, oh my god, I would have fallen down. To prevent the backflow of blood, what do we have, my dear children? We have valves. Cool, we have valves. So the blood emerges from the heart under high pressure and flows through the arteries. Hence, to bear this pressure, the arteries have thick and elastic walls. That is one marker. Next thing, veins have valves to ensure that the blood flows only in one direction, my dear children. Cool. Okay, so let's put a tick mark over there. We have got two marks each. Okay, so our question did not go around writing both. Next question, study the food chain given below and answer the questions that follow. Okay, if the amount of energy available at the third trophic level, that is 1, 2, 3, this is the third trophic level, okay, it is 100 joules. Then how much energy will be available at the producer level? Justify your answer. So for that I have to make something like this. Let's make it. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. This is T1, trophic level 1. This is trophic level 2, trophic level 3, trophic level 4 and trophic level 5. Over here in the third trophic level that you see, I have 100 joules of energy. So what is the energy available at the producer level? What do you think is the energy available at the producer level, my dear children? So it is 100 over here. How will you identify that? Basically children, you should be knowing that there is a 10% rule or 10% law. What does the 10% law say? That in one trophic level, when the energy is passed down to the next trophic level, only 10% of it will be going to the next trophic level. For example, this trophic level has 100. What will be the energy available in T4? That is energy available to the mongoose. How much energy will be available to the mongoose, my dear children? 10% of 100. What is 10% of 100, my dear children? Calculate. If you are not able to calculate, I will make you calculate. You just have 10 joules. You just have 10 joules. So it goes lesser. How much? 10% lesser. So I just have to increase it and I will get to know. So if it is 100, this is 1000. If this is 1000, it is going to be 10,000. You are asked about what? You are asked about producer level. The one that is responsible for producing the food initially. Should be knowing who are producers. It is sorry, it is the leaf or basically the plant which is going to be the producer, my dear children. So they are asking about the T1 level. So what is the amount of energy that you have at T1 level? It is 10,000 joules of energy. Okay, how will you justify your answer? You will say that only 10% amount of energy is being transferred. So if you go lesson down, it becomes 10,000. Now, is it possible to have 2 more trophic levels in this food chain just before the 4th trophic level? Do you think there can be 2 more trophic levels up over here? So in this case only, it has 1 joule available to give to the next one. Do you think there will be anything extra? If I fit in something, these guys will go up. Do you think they will get enough energy? No, my dear children. There is a thing, you cannot increase the level up here. Why? Because there is very limited amount of energy. There is only limited amount of energy that can be passed down to the next level, trophic level, which is why you cannot adjust any more trophic levels up over here. This is the maximum it can go. How will you frame the answer? 10,000 joules because only 10% of energy is available for the next trophic level gives you 1 mark. Okay, straight answer. No. I will suggest you please draw this and explain. This will be much more better. Okay. Now, no, since the loss of energy at each step is so great that very little usable energy will remain after 4 trophic levels. Yes. So, the loss of energy is way too much. Okay. The loss of energy is way too much. The gain is less. The gain is less, only 10%, less 90% is lost. So, which is why it is not possible. Cool. Again, this gives you 1 mark, again from the marking scheme, not something that I have written. Cool. And now it's time for section C, which is 3 marker questions. Again, I think there are 2 questions from 3 markers. Let's see. We are advised to take iodized salt in our diet by doctors. Justify its importance in our body. Why are we advised to take iodized salt, my dear children? Because in our body there is a very important hormone that is being made. That is thyroxine. Thyroxine is being produced by a gland which is known as thyroid gland. Also, the butterfly gland which is present over here. What does this thyroid gland do? It produces thyroxine, right? Now, thyroxine, which is the hormone, it needs iodine. Without iodine, it cannot be made. And what does this thyroxine do? What does this particular thyroxine do, my dear children? Thyroxine is responsible for metabolism. Metabolism as in breakdown or making of what? Fats, carbohydrates, everything that is up there in our body. If it is not there, this metabolism would not be proper at all, and it is going to cause a huge lot of trouble. Now, if iodine is not there, thyroxine will not be made. If thyroxine is not there, metabolism would not be happening properly. And also I'll tell you, in this condition where there is no iodine left, okay, there is no iodine in our body enough to produce thyroxine, we have a disease which is known as what? Goiter. Which is why we have swelling up over here. So only if you have iodized salt, you can replenish the amount of iodine in our body and it can give rise to thyroxine. There is one more, this is known as T4. Because it has 4 molecules of iodine, my dear children, there is T3 also, that is triiodothyronine. It has 3 iodine there. Okay, so there are different types of hormones being produced by the thyroid gland, and all of them, they are very, very important. Okay, which is why we are told to do so. So iodine is essential for the synthesis of thyroxine hormone. Thyroxine as a E. Thyroxine regulates carbohydrate, protein and fat metabolism in the body. Thyroxine provides best balance for growth in the body. It is also responsible for the amount of growth and also metabolism and lots and lots of function. If your thyroid gland has a problem, it can be bit costly for you. I am a person who have hypothyroidism. I take medicines for that. I have issues, metabolic issues. So this is not a small thing, my dear children. We should be really, really careful. We should be having good food. Okay, and some people nowadays have it genetically as well. And I think I am one such person who got it genetically. But yes, we have to be really careful and we have to be changing our lifestyle and all and making things a lot better. I hope my dear curies are doing so. Okay, chalo. Let's do the next question. Okay. What is the probability of a girl or a boy being born in a family? Justify your answer. What is the probability of a girl or a boy being born? So, I remember I always wanted a younger sibling. I have an older sibling, but I wanted a younger sibling, and I always say, Mama, baby, if it's there, if it's girl or boy, I want girl baby. I wanted a girl baby, okay, to be my sibling. Because I wanted to do makeup and stuff that was done in younger age, not now. But yes, at that point of time I really wanted it. So, but no one can actually predict the sex of a child. Why? Because there is 50% of chance that it can be a girl or it can be a boy. Now I'll tell you why. Well, again, it's not something that is neutral. Nowadays, boys do better makeup than girls, and that's something that is really commendable. Okay, I have seen so many makeup artists and all who do great makeup, and it's kind of normal. It's not a gender specific thing, and it should not be. So I was just saying, okay, and I also want to change your mind if you think so that it is very gender specific. Okay, so no, I don't want to change your mind. I just want to give my opinion if that works for you as well. Chalo. So what is the probability of a girl or a boy being born in a family? Let's see. The father, my dear children, will be always having 2 chromosomes. One will be X, another one will be Y. The mother, on the other hand, will be having 2 chromosomes which would be same, that is X and X. Okay, always. So X and Y is there and X is there. This is the parents. What about the gametes? The gametes can be X here or it can be Y here. Here also it can be X or it can be Y, X. There are no choice. Now, what about the progenies? What about the progeny? X can fuse with this X. This gamete, that is this sperm, can fuse with this X, giving what? XX. This sperm can fuse with that one, similarly XX. This Y can fuse with this X, so it can be XY. This can fuse with this again, XY. So over here you see this is for female, so this will be girl, this will be girl, this will be boy, and this will be boy. Make this and you explain. Tell first things first that basically a father always have X and Y chromosome, mother always will be having X and X chromosome. Suppose from father X is going to get fertilized with another X chromosome from the mother, that is there in the egg, then it will be a girl child. If Y chromosome is going to fuse with the X chromosome, it is going to be a boy. So there is a 50-50% chance over there. Mention 50%, 50%. Okay, how do you write the answer? Like this. So there are 50% chances that a girl may be born and 50% chances that a boy may be born, gives you 1 mark. It's a 3-mark question. It can be explained as follows. So this is a straight answer that is given over here. Okay, first you have to tell the answer, 50% chance. Now you have to explain it. It can be explained as follows. Most human chromosomes have maternal copy and paternal copy. We have 22 such chromosomes. 1 pair of chromosomes called the sex chromosome is odd in not always being perfect pair. Women have perfect pair of sex chromosome, both called XX. Gives you 0.5 marks. But men have mismatched pair of sex chromosome in which one is normal sized, that is X chromosome, while the other is a short one, that is Y chromosome. The Y one is a shorter one, which is why it is not a perfect pair. So it is XY chromosome. So for this statement you get half marks. For this statement again you get another half marks. Okay. Now a child received 1 chromosome from mother, which is essentially X chromosome, gives you 0.5 marks. Now a child who inherits X chromosome from her father will be girl, and the one who inherits Y from him will be a boy, that is 0.5. So it's not like you have to be very specific like this, but it's not like exactly you're copying it, no one can do that, but your answer should contain all this information, and this information should be there in points, my dear children. If it's not in points, you're going to lose your marks. If it is not underlined, it is not going to be appealing for a person to check it. There are so many bundles of paper that they have to check. So, and it's not a biology invigilator who is going to check your paper. So you have to be really specific with your answers. Any person who teaches any subject in science, that is physics and chemistry person, can also come and check this particular paper. So it has to be really specific. Your answer should be correct. Got it? So yes, this is how you answer it. Now section D, that is a 5-marker question, my dear children, and then we will be having 1 more question, that is a 4-marker question. With that we are going to end. Cool. So given below are certain situation, analyze and describe its possible impact on a person. Chalo. Testes of a male boy are not able to descend into scrotum during his embryonic development. So I hope you know that the testis is going to stay in the abdomen only during the embryo formation. But after that, this testis is going to slowly move down. Suppose this is the abdomen and you have the scrotum over here. The testis which is over here, it is slowly going to move down into the scrotum. Suppose this process is not happening, and there are cases where it does not happen. There might be surgical methods also being applied for that. So what happens if it is not happening? The testis is not able to descend into the scrotum during embryonic development. That means that a sperm formation is not going to happen. Why, children? Because the testis has to move down to provide 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius lower than the normal body temperature for sperm formation to take place. For sperm formation to take place. Now vas deferens of a man is plugged. What do you mean by vas deferens? Vas deferens is a accessory duct. Okay, it is an accessory duct which is responsible for carrying the sperms. Suppose this particular duct that you see, the vas deferens, if it is being plugged, that means it is being blocked. What will happen? If it is being blocked, do you think transportation of sperm can take place? So I'll say transportation of sperm is blocked, my dear children. Next question. Prostate and seminal vesicle are not functional. Prostate, it's a accessory gland. Seminal vesicle, again an accessory gland. Both of them are not functional. What is the use of them? Basically, these glands, accessory glands, they are there for secreting certain important things for the sperms which are going to come. Okay, the sperms, for example, seminal vesicle secretes fructose, okay, gives fructose to the sperm so that it has energy. Prostate gives calcium to the sperm so that it can fertilize very easily. So prostate, seminal vesicle secretion are really important. If it's not there, it won't be really good for fertilization to happen. Okay, so that is a problem with prostate and seminal vesicle not being functional. Egg is not fertilized in a human female. If egg is not fertilized in a human female, what will happen? Okay, during the whole cycle of menstrual cycle, during ovulation, it is waiting, the egg is waiting for the sperm to come. If fertilization is not happening, what will happen? The uterus which is there, it has already prepared itself by basically thickening up the layer, the innermost layer which is known as endometrium. So this thickened layer, okay, some layer stays like that forever, some is being made by this layer. So this temporary layer which you see of endometrium itself, it is going to shed down along with the unfertilized egg, and this is known as menstruation. Okay, and this is known as menstruation. Okay, so egg is not fertilized in human female, that's when menstruation will be happening. Placenta does not attach to the uterus optimally. If placenta is not attaching to the uterus optimally, then what will happen? The child will not be able to take in important nutrients or gases like oxygen, and it is not going to give out carbon dioxide, and it is not going to be able to remove the waste product also, because placenta is that something that becomes a connecting link between the fetus as well as the mother. You get it? So that is the problem that is going to occur. Let's see the answers for this and then we'll move on to the next one. Sperm formation will be adversely affected because it requires a lower temperature than the body temperature, that is for the testis, if it is not descending into the scrotum. Now if vas difference is plugged, it is a passage for transfer of sperm, so sperm will not be transferring further. Now when prostate and seminal vesicle are not functional, they will not add secretions for nourishment and the medium for transport of sperm. So it is going to make a medium also, right? This is known as seminal plasma. The secretion of prostate and seminal vesicle and bulbourethral gland, there are 3 glands. All of them, they are going to release something that is together known as seminal plasma, my dear children. Seminal plasma plus sperm together is known as semen. So seminal plasma is basically going to act like a fluid in which the sperms can easily get transported. So that is being blocked because of that. Now if egg is not fertilized in human female, it lives for about 1 day. Then the thickened lining of the uterus breaks, leading to discharge of blood and the mucus along with the unfertilized egg. This is known as menstruation. Right. Now if placenta is not connected to the uterus optimally, what will happen? Basically the nutrition and oxygen will not be provided to the growing embryo, affecting its growth, which could have serious implications as well. It will be leading to serious issues as well. Cool. Now okay. Or question is also there. A doctor has advised Samir to reduce sugar intake in his diet. Okay, he was taking too much sugar. Doctor said, please reduce the sugar and do regular exercise. After doing the blood checkup report, that's when he said that. Doctor said that. Okay, which disease do you think Samir is suffering from? Name the hormone responsible for the disease and the organ producing the hormone. So basically, what disease do you think he is suffering from? Probably he is suffering from diabetes. In diabetes, what is happening? My dear children, the blood glucose level is going to go really up. Okay, and why is it happening? Because the pancreas which is there in our body, it might not be producing enough amount of insulin. The insulin, what does it do? For example, it sees glucose over here, it catches the glucose and basically forms glycogen out of it. Takes the glucose, all the glucose molecules, and converts into glycogen. So glycogen is made by too many glucose molecules coming together. So this glucose molecules are being taken up and they are being put together to form glycogen as being stored in the liver, such that in the blood the level of glucose becomes less. Okay, that is the usual function. But in the case of diabetes patient, the pancreas might not be probably producing enough amount of insulin, which is why the blood glucose level is going to shoot up. That is why Samir is asked to take less sugar and also do regular exercise. When you do regular exercise, this glucose is being utilized to produce what? Energy, ATP in our body. Okay, so this is getting broken down naturally. And also, if you reduce the sugar intake, it will be really good. Something went into my eyes. Okay. Now, which hormone is present in the areas of rapid cell division in plant and which hormone inhibits the growth? Which hormone is present in the case of rapid cell division? Cell division. cytokinin. Cyto means cell and kinin means division. So cytokinin is the hormone present in the plant which is responsible for cell division. Cytokinin. And which one is the one that inhibits the growth? So cytokinin, auxin and gibberellin, three of them, they are growth promoters. They help in the growth. There are two hormones which inhibits the growth, that is abscisic acid and ethylene. Abscisic acid and ethylene, my dear children. So here abscisic acid is being mentioned, you can go for that. Okay, so what is Samir suffering from? Samir is suffering from diabetes, and it is because it's controlled by hormone insulin produced by pancreas. Now over here, what is that thing being produced? Cytokinin. And cytokinin is basically the one that helps in cell division, and abscisic acid is the one that does what? That inhibits the growth. Okay, chalo. Section E, 4 marker question. This is the last question, and with this we are going to complete sample paper 2 of biology, and I hope that all of you, my dear little children, are really happy while solving these questions. You are feeling motivated, you are feeling confident that yes, I can. If you are not, you will feel so. Just be positive, just try a lot of questions. It will be really easy for you, trust me on that. Okay, and if you have any problem, put down in the comment section. I am there to solve it. There is no such comment or something like that which is not which is left unseen like that. Okay, we have 2 channels, and the other one is quite bigger channel where we have lots of work to do, but still thinking about you guys who are in 10th standard, we thought of making this particular channel, and we are giving a lot of hard work into this as well. So make utilization of this, okay, and score really good marks. It's all for you. Now over here, this is the last question. Figure A to D, there is A and then D. Given below represents the type of earlobes present in a family consisting of 2 children, Rahul and Nisha. Okay, so Rahul and Nisha are the children and they have parents. Excited by his observation of different types of earlobes present in the family, Rahul conducted a survey of the type of earlobes found. Okay, he did a survey in the classmates. He found 2 types of earlobes in his classmates as per the frequency given below. So basically, there is earlobe, free and attached earlobe. That is what he found out. Now, a question, which of the 2 characteristics, free and earlobe or attached earlobe, appears to be dominant in this case, and why? So how do you identify it? Let's see. Let's zoom this in. So over here, I hope you are able to see. This is free earlobe, my dear children. It is not attached. Attached as in, it looks like this. So Rahul has attached earlobe. Rahul's father has free earlobe. Rahul's mother also has free earlobe. Rahul's sister also has free earlobe. So free earlobe is like the one that has a small cut over here. Attached is the one that is completely attached. Now which one among them do you think? Okay, free earlobe or basically attached earlobe, which one do you think is the dominant one? I will say it's the free earlobe which is dominant. Why? Because maximum group of organisms over here have free earlobe, whereas only Rahul has what? Attached earlobe. So this has to be dominant, which is why it is found in lots and lots of people up over here. Okay, that is one thing. Now next thing, is the inheritance of the free earlobe linked with the sex of the individual? Give reason for your answer. Do you think the earlobe, the type of earlobe that they have, and the sex of the individual has anything to do? This is the father. Father is a male and male has free earlobe. This is the mother. Mother also has free earlobe. Sister also has free earlobe. This has nothing to do with the sex of the organism, right? Free earlobe and this has nothing to do. So I will say this is wrong because both group of organisms, male and female, have free earlobes. So this is not justified. Now what type of earlobe is present in the father, mother, Rahul and his sister Nisha? You already know it, I already told you. Write the genetic constitution of each of these family members, which explains the inheritance of this character in the family. Gene for free earlobe is represented by capital F and gene for attached earlobe is represented by small f for writing the genetic constitution. So you have to find the whole thing, and for that I need a small, okay, just a second. Okay, I have added one, and now let's see. So we have to find the genotype of all, right? So we have the father, we have the mother, okay, and Rahul has what? Attached one, and Nisha has what? The free one. Here the father free, mother also has free earlobe, and they have mentioned 2 denote capital F as the one that is free. So since both of them has this, so I will say both of them has one allele, that is capital F allele. Now there might be a small allele which is like this, small f for attached ear lobe, but it is not shown in the father because there is a capital one to show its effect. Okay, when there is a dominant allele, it will show its effect. There is a dominant allele, it will show its effect, but both of them, they have free ear lobe. Now what is the chances? So children, this is the parent. Now what about the gametes? Let's see the gametes. So gametes can be capital F or small f. Here also capital F or small f. Now progeny which is going to be formed, capital F can be the case, capital F, small f can be the case, capital F, small f can be the case, small f can be the case. Now this is free, this is free ear lobe, this can also be free ear lobe, this will be attached. Why? Because there is no one dominant to dominate this. Here also there is one dominant. So Rahul's sister Nisha can be in any one of this category, they can have any of this thing. Rahul instead just has small f, my dear children. Okay, I hope you understood that. Why did I put it like this? Because it was said that Rahul had attached ear lobe. If all of them were capital F, if suppose here also it was FF, then whatever you do, when it pairs with this, there will be capital F to dominate and there won't be attached ear lobe that will be formed. But since here it was mentioned that Rahul has attached ear lobe, that means they had something like this. They had something like this. Works? So this is the genotype that you have to write. Now Suresh parents have attached ear lobes. What type of ear lobe can be seen in Suresh and his sister Sia? Suresh's parents over here, they have attached, and attached is mentioned by like small f, and small f will only express itself when it is in this condition. So Suresh's parents, as in this is one parent and this is the second parent, then only both of them will be having attached ear lobe because it is a recessive trait, it is not dominant trait. So basically it should be like this. This is the parent. What about the gametes being formed, my dear children? Small f, small f, small f, small f. What is the progeny? In the progeny it can be this, it will be small f, whatever you do, if you fuse this with this, again small f, small f, small f, small f, small f, small f. So Suresh and his sister Sia, everyone in this particular family will be having what? Attached ear lobe. Everyone in this family will be having attached ear lobes. So Suresh's parents have attached ear lobes. What type of ear lobe can be seen in Suresh and his sister Sia? It is a thing. Explain by giving the genetic composition of all. So you can explain by giving the genetic composition. This is the genetic composition. Can you explain like this? Yes, we can. Okay, and how do you frame the answer? Right, see, free ear lobe is dominant because it is found in large majority of the population. Now, is it sex linked? No, it is not sex linked. As per the data of the family as well as the class, it is indicated that free ear lobe is present in males as well as in females. Now, father has capital F, small f, mother has capital F, small f, Rahul has small f, and Nisha has capital F, small f, or capital F, either way. Okay, it can be either thing. Whatever we made up here, you have to explain like that only there. Okay. Now, the answer for the Suresh one. Suresh's father is small f, mother is also small f, which is why every one of them will be FFF. If both parents have recessive character, then all the children have the recessive character only, my dear children. That is what is being shown up over here. Cool. And with this, we are completing sample paper 2, in which we have completed biology, and every one of you have got 30 marks, my dear children. 30 marks, not 3, 30 marks. I hope whatever I taught you today was explanatory. If you still have confusions, please feel really free to put down your valuable comments. Okay, to put down your doubts. We are there to solve all of it. And if you like this video, definitely let us know that the video was good. I'll be really happy reading that. And there's a video for chemistry and physics. Don't forget to watch it. Yeah, and subscribe our little channel, that is Diksha Vedantu. See you with the next video really soon. Tomorrow there will be a video for math sample paper. So if you're finding difficulty in solving math questions, be there.